Welcome to the 11th part of Mechanical Properties of Fluids. In this part, you will learn about some more applications based on Bernoulli's principle and the concept of viscosity. Blood flow and heart attack. In persons suffering with advanced heart condition, the artery gets constricted due to the accumulation of plaque on its inner walls. In order to drive the blood through this constriction, a greater demand is placed on the activity of the heart. The speed of flow of the blood increases in this region. From Bernoulli's principle, the inside pressure drops and the artery may collapse due to external pressure. The heart exerts further pressure to open this artery and forces the blood through. As the blood rushes through the opening, the internal pressure once again drops, leading to a repeat collapse. This phenomena is called vascular flutter, which can be heard on a stethoscope. This may result in a heart attack. Blowing off the roofs during windstorm. During certain windstorm or cyclone, the roofs of some houses are blown off without damaging the other parts of the house. The high wind blowing over the roof creates a low pressure P2 in accordance with Bernoulli's principle. The pressure P1 below the roof is equal to the atmospheric pressure, which is larger than P2. This pressure difference P1 minus P2 causes an upward thrust and the roof is lifted up. Once the roof is lifted up, it is blown off with the wind. Now here comes the limitations of Bernoulli's theorem. I have already told you after the Bernoulli's principle that it is applicable only for the non-viscous fluid and so many assumptions that we have used. All these are the limitations of Bernoulli's theorem. As we have assumed that the velocity of every element of the liquid across any cross-section of the pipe is uniform, but practically it is not true. The elements of liquid in the innermost layer have the maximum velocity. The velocity of the liquid decreases towards the wall of the pipe, and therefore we should take into account the mean velocity of the liquid. Second one, during the derivation of Bernoulli's equation, the viscous drag force of the liquid has not been taken into consideration, whereas the viscous drag force comes into play whenever the liquid is in motion. Third one, during the derivation, we have assumed that there appears no loss of energy when a liquid is in motion, but in fact, some kinetic energy is converted into heat energy and a part of it is lost due to shear force. Fourth one, if the liquid is flowing across a curved path, the energy due to centrifugal force should also be taken, but that was not taken. So these are the limitations of Bernoulli's theorem. Viscosity. Viscosity is the property of fluid by virtue of which an internal force of friction comes into play when a fluid is in motion and which opposes the relative motion between its different layers. The backward dragging force called viscous drag or viscous force acts tangentially on the layers of the fluid in motion and tends to destroy its motion. As shown in the diagram, consider two liquids, water and honey. Water will flow down from the glass very rapidly, whereas honey would not. This is because honey is more viscous than water. Therefore, in order to make honey flow, we need to apply greater amount of force because honey has a property to resist the motion more. Cause of viscosity. For this, consider a liquid moving slowly and steadily over a fixed horizontal surface. Each layer moves parallel to the fixed surface, and the layer in contact with the fixed surface is at rest, and the velocity of every other layer increases uniformly upward as shown in the figure by arrows of increasing length. The bottom plate is fixed while the top plate is moved with a constant velocity v relative to the fixed plate, and the fluid in contact with the surface has the same velocity as that of surface. Hence, the layer of the liquid in contact with top surface moves with a velocity v, and the layer of liquid in contact with the fixed surface is stationary. For any layer of liquid, its upper layer pulls it forward while lower layer pulls it backward. This results in force between the layers, and this type of flow is known as laminar flow. The layers of liquid slide over one another. When a fluid is flowing in a tube, then velocity of the liquid layer along the axis of the tube is maximum and decreases gradually as we move towards the wall, where it becomes almost zero, as shown in the diagrams. On account of this motion, a portion of liquid which at some instant has the shape ABCD take the shape of EEFD after short interval of time delta t, and during this time interval of the liquid has undergone a shearing strain of delta x divided by L. Since the strain in a flowing fluid increases with time continuously, unlike a solid, here the stress is found experimentally to depend on rate of change of strain. And the coefficient of viscosity is denoted by eta for a fluid and is equal to ratio of shearing stress to the shearing strain. In mathematical terms, in time delta t, displacement delta x, therefore, shearing strain will be delta x divided by L, where L is the length. So, shearing strain rate will be divided by delta t. So, delta x divided by L into delta t. Now, coefficient of viscosity is shearing stress divided by strain rate. So, F by A divided by delta x divided by L delta t. And you will get F into L divided by VA, where delta x by delta t we have taken V. So, eta will be F into L divided by V into A. And the SI unit is Poiseuille or Pascal second or Newton second per meter square. And the dimensional formula will be ml minus 1 T minus 1. The CGS unit of eta will be dyne second per centimeter square or poise. And You have to find out the relation between poise and poisily by using the methods of dimensions, and you will find out that 1 poisily is equals to 10 poise.